All right, so here is the Hamm-tone Teardrop Pin Bridge Octave Mandolin. I still will be putting a strap pin there. Cool thing is, it's that modern Telecaster style jack with the stereo jack on it. It's got a Hamm-tone K&K style double piezo bridge plate mounted pickup passive, so you can use a tone dexter and train it to sound awesome, just like this thing does. The other cool thing is pickguard. Check out the glare, like the way it glimmers, depending on how the light hits it. It's kind of a neat pickguard that I made. Proprietary knowledge. Ask and I might tell you. But yeah, actually I'll just tell you. So it's a port epoxy pickguard, and then I put some copper shielding tape underneath it. I also did some with some aluminum foil underneath, which also looked cool. The copper looked a little darker, so I thought it was a good touch. And the neat thing is, this is sort of a tuxedo style, like similar to the old Nick Lucas Gibson L00 guitar, but this is a 22 and 1/8 inch or so scale length octave mandolin, and it is a Hamm-tone, of course, made by yours truly with Goto tuning machines, and it's quite a fun instrument to play. If yeah, what else can I tell you? So the back and sides on this are mahogany. If you look inside the sound hole, you can maybe see a little bit that there's mahogany on the inside. The sides are also mahogany. They're solid mahogany exterior perimeter with the sides, and then two veneers on the inside just to add stiffness. The back and the top, of course, are solid like normal, and but this is a little different than your normal teardrop octave mandolin because it doesn't have the trapeze style tailpiece. If you look at a lot of those Jimmy Moon mandolins, and bless your heart, Jimmy Moon, whoever you are, I've played a good number of your mandolins. In fact, I used to work at the Ottawa Folklore Centre, and I sold a lot of your mandolins because I think they're pretty good. But one of the issues I always found with the flat top mandolin that had the trapeze style tailpiece is, being a flat top, it had to be braced extra stiffly. Is that a word, stiffly? Stiffly. It had to be braced extra stiffly just to ensure that the top wouldn't collapse, but it seemed they always ended up being concave a little bit, so I've always shied away from that. And this one local musician, Dale, said to me, "Hey Jer, can you make a teardrop octave mandolin but with a pin bridge?" So it even has that Gibson-esque reverse belly pin bridge design, just to look kind of like the old Gibson. I thought it'd be kind of neat. This is just a little dust here. I'll just wipe that off. And but yeah, it's kind of a nice touch, I think. And the other neat thing is, if you take note, it has only 3 dots. The first one starts at the 5th fret. Now the reason for that is because now Dale, if he wants to, he can put his capo on the 2nd fret, and then everything would be A standard, so he can play it with other instruments. It's very easy to instrument the capo. Yeah, the whole idea is, like, there's your G chord, and then if he puts capo on, it would, the same chord formation would give you that. So it's pretty good idea. It has the bone nut and the bone split saddles for the purpose of having improved intonation. And Ivoroid binding on the body and the fingerboard. It's X-braced, and quite frankly, it's just pretty rad. It's also X-braced on the back. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if the lighting allows for such. There we go. Can you see that? Can you see the X-brace there? See on the inside there? X-braced on the top and the back. I always think that's cool. Cool to have that. But look at this thing. Son of a pioneer. This is such a cool looking instrument, even though I'm a bit of a country guy. I want one of these. That's the problem these days. I've been building stuff that I really want, and if I would keep all the things that I make because I want them, I'd be a bad husband and a bad father, so I'm going to try to continue selling them. I can make one for you if you wish. Check out my website, hamm-tone.com. It has a lot of information there I'm aiming to have some photographs and more information about this on my website soon. I've been building a lot of octave mandolins lately, and quite frankly, they're rad. They're super rad. And I'm gonna just noodle around on this for a bit and let you hear what it sounds like. One other thing that I've noticed, and it's a clear and significant difference between a trapeze-style bridge, octave mandolin, or mandocello, or bouzouki, whatever you want to have. The pin bridge design is pretty awesome for instrument efficiency. Like, you know, I've mentioned this before. A violin is 60% efficient. A guitar is only 3% efficient. Now, if you compare the efficiency of a flat top octave mandolin with the pin bridge versus the trapeze style tailpiece. The trapeze style tailpiece instrument has a little bit more of a pitch, but it has all this downwards force, but the tension's at the butt end. It's sort of dissipating along the perimeter of the rim. You're not going to be using the instrument's soundboard as efficiently. You're not going to have as loud of an instrument. So I really do believe quite strongly that this is significantly louder than a standard trapeze style bridge setup. It's quite complimentary for this particular instrument. If you are an octave mandolin maker or a bouzouki maker or you know, all that, consider trying one of these if you haven't already, because it's louder. It's not as though it's losing out on its warmth, but it doesn't sound like one of those you know, was it Godin? Godin made some mandolins that are flat tops, but it doesn't sound like an Ovation mandolin. Now, Ovation mandolins, like, I shouldn't even be talking about that. I shouldn't even said this on my little channel here, but quite frankly, Ovation mandolins, as nifty as an Ovation might be, it's a terrible thing. And friends don't let friends play Ovations. So remember that. If you see a friend walking around with a smile on their face and they're playing an Ovation Celebrity or some kind of Ovation Applause or whatever it is, unless they got a really good deal on the Applause, don't let them play it. It's a terrible thing. if you are interested in one of these things, drop me a line, send me a message, look at my website, hamm-tone.com, and let's talk. Thanks for watching. Okay.